Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Felix Strüning. I'm the managing director of the Stresemann Foundation in Germany. And to make it short, we call ourselves a lobby for liberty. Today we heard a lot of Islam, so maybe now's the point to look at ourselves. Islamic associations, as the often mentioned today, Organization of Islamic Cooperation, use the term Islamophobia to nip any criticism on Islam and Muslim in the bud. To gain sovereignty over the interpretation of Islam, only theological arguments are accepted. Simultaneously, these same bodies strive to elevate religious freedom over freedom of speech and freedom of press in order to suppress any criticism from non-Muslims or stigmatizes as racism. Muslim lobbyists find support from the German side, and I'm sure in many other countries as well, by the so-called prejudice research. Here in Germany, the research project on group-focused enmity, the so-called GFE survey, has prominent significance in the relevant social sciences. But summing up even their definitions, we can only speak of Islamophobia when all of the following three conditions are met. First, it deals with fear of Islam or Muslims respectively, or the condemnation thereof. Second, this fear or condemnation is unsubstantiated or biased or of a general nature. And third, it leads to discrimination and or violence. Based on the mentioned scientific surveys, I will show you that the necessary conditions for Islamophobia are not prevalent among the German populace. My three most important findings are, and the other ones are presented in the paper you can download at the ICLA homepage. First, Islamophobia neither corresponds to xenophobia or to anti-Semitism. An independent development for all three phenomena became apparent in the longitudinal analysis. This is reconfirmed by the fact that the perceived percentage of foreigners in the personal environment has no influence on the so-called Islamophobic attitudes. Second, Islam is being condemned as a system, not Muslims as believers. Opposed to a low general condemnation of Muslims, a majority of Germans dismiss the political, ideological dimension of Islam. Most of them, those surveyed, thought that Islam is backward and does not look upon other faiths as being equal. We're sure that Islam generally repudiates homosexuality, did not judge equality of men and women to be compatible with Islam, and furthermore, significantly more than the half of those surveyed held the belief that Islam sought to expand its influence in Germany through the building of mosques. Third finding, concerning factual matters, there appears to be an almost equal Islam-critical position of 80%, I repeat, of 80% of those surveyed in Germany, independent of the so-called Islamophobic positions. Consequently, a large portion of Islam-critical people in Germany have little to no prejudice against Muslims. Conclusion. The first condition for Islamophobia, the fear or condemnation of Islam or Muslims, is consistently confirmed by the surveys. In contrast to this, the second condition, provided that this fear be unsubstantiated or the condemnation is of general nature, is not met. Approval of openly Islam-hostile acts like a ban of religious activities or eviction of Muslims was very rare. Thus, the third condition, meaning discrimination or violence, is also not met. Altogether, speaking of Islamophobia seems to be unjustified. In fact, we are looking at the rejection of a very specific ideological features or behaviors that are associated with or attributed to Islam. Prejudice researchers strongly contradict the notion that these ideological tendencies and their social effects are in fact evoked by Islam. When talking of Islamophobia as an unsubstantiated fear, they oversimplify and claim that there be no threat due to Islam at all. To make a generalized statement about such a complex social logic function as religion is absolutely not objective. Rather than trying to find real causes for the measured effect of the condemnation of Islam in society, they try to attribute overreaching fear or racist condemnation towards portions of the populace. Consequently, the word Islamophobia can therefore only be viewed as a targeted polemic term, or as we call it in Germany, a Kampfbegriff. I'd like to close it with a personal remark. As in the foreword of Gerd Wilder's book, I don't know how many of you read it already, Mark Stein, who already spoke to us today, quoted Ayaan Hirsi Ali. I know it's a little bit complicated. And she said, let's share the risk. And I think this is what we've done today. We sent the message, if you do a fatwa against one of us, you have all of us behind them. You don't have to kill one of us, you have to kill all of us. Thank you.